Try not to get scared. Short horror stories. Liam had been driving for hours, his eyes heavy from exhaustion. The long, empty highway stretched into the darkness. The only sound the steady hum of his tires on the asphalt. He had picked the wrong time to take this trip. Just past midnight, with nothing but endless trees on either side of the road. His phone had no signal, and he hadn't seen another car in nearly an hour. That's when he saw her, a woman standing by the side of the road, dressed in a pale blue dress, her long hair hiding her face. She didn't wave, didn't move, just stood there staring at the ground. Liam hesitated but then slowed down. "Hey, do you need a ride?" he called through the open window. The woman slowly turned her head toward him, and a chill ran down his spine. Her face was wrong. It wasn't deformed or monstrous, just off. Something about her eyes, too empty, too dark. Still, he unlocked the passenger door. She slid in without a word. "Where are you headed?" Liam asked, forcing a polite smile. "Home," she whispered. He nodded, trying to ignore the growing unease creeping up his spine. They drove in silence for several miles. Every so often, he stole a glance at her. She sat perfectly still, hands folded in her lap, eyes fixed on the road ahead. Then he saw something that made his blood turn to ice. In the dim glow of the dashboard lights, her feet weren't touching the floor. His breath hitched. He kept driving, gripping the wheel so tightly his knuckles turned white. "You missed the turn," she murmured. "What?" He forced himself to glance at her. She was staring at him now. Her face had changed. Her skin was deathly pale, her lips cracked, her eyes sunken and filled with something deeply wrong. "You missed the turn," she repeated, voice distorted, unnatural. Liam slammed the brakes. The car skidded to a stop, and when he turned to look at her, she was gone. The seat was empty. The door had never opened. His hands shook as he looked ahead. Just a few feet in front of his car, the road suddenly ended. A broken bridge stretched over a deep black ravine. If he hadn't stopped, he would have driven straight off the edge. Liam's heart pounded. He took a shaky breath and looked back at the seat one last time. A single wet footprint remained on the floor, and from the darkness outside his window, a voice whispered, "You're welcome."